Mark Stevens. This is an update, just a quick update that we have for the traffic complaints or the complaints against the lawyers. Of course, the website, markstevens.net. The radio show, No State Project, live every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LRN.FM. I think we've got that here at LRN.FM. So I want to go through this quickly. Let's see, what do we got? Because, it involves this guy right here. His name is... what is his name? Well, let's pull this up here. I got everything. Filed a complaint against Carletta Bassano, and it turns out J. Scott Davis. That's what his name is here. So if we go here, J. Scott Davis, he's an attorney with the Board of Overseers for the Maine Bar Association. And I filed a complaint against Carletta Bassano because she wasn't giving discovery and she was proceeding absent jurisdiction. So that's basically what I laid out here. I used their form, kept it small, kept it short. She lies and says she can only talk with other attorneys. She refuses to give disclosure. She's knowingly proceeding absent someone without any facts to prove the code is applicable. And I said they're being dishonest. So I thought those were pretty serious charges. Violent, and then I ended violent domination over others without personal responsibility is a dangerous combination. I'm sure any rational adult would, agree with that. That's a pretty bad place to start. So this is the letter he gave me. And I mentioned this on the show. It's about Carletta Bassano, and what he does is he thinks it's kind of odd or coincidental that I filed a complaint after the incident. Well, when would you do it? Well, that's kind of silly. Well, he goes down here. He says the matter must be and is dismissed by me under the Maine bar rules. It's J. Scott Davis, of course, which is this guy. So can we make that? Let's see. Get J. Scott. Yeah, there you go. There he is. So he's dismissing it. He doesn't see that there's a problem with lying and not giving discovery. So what I did was it's interesting that he said that. I wanted to just bring this up here, so we'll blow that up a little bit. He's saying that not giving discovery is not a violation of their little code. That's Rule 3.8, special responsibilities of a prosecutor. A prosecutor shall make timely disclosure in a criminal case to a defendant without counsel. See? This nonsense that can only talk to lawyers is just that. It's nonsense. It's when you're a professional predator and you have no evidence and you're called on it, you have to make up every excuse in the book. But our buddy here, Mr. Scott, he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with it. So he did the typical rubber stamp of Carletta Bassano. And so what we're able to do, though, we just go back down there. What we're able to do is you can... I did follow it up. Here's my follow-up, and this will be available on the website. I did follow it up with this, asking him, basically, how is it not a violation not to give discovery? And, I said, hopefully the non-lawyer who reviews this will not excuse such dishonest behavior, because if you file a request within so many days, which I did, you can have a non-lawyer review the complaint. So that's what I did. And so this is where we are with that. An Angela Morse from the Board of Overseers of the Bar for the Maine Bar Association. That's the case number, Carletta Bassano Esquire, saying that pursuant to the requirements promulgated, blah, 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 concerning the bar's dismissal of the above referenced matter has now been referred to a lay member or non-attorney of the Grievance Commission. Upon that member's decision, you will be notified accordingly. So we're going to see if we're going to get another rubber stamp. So, and of course, she's been notified. So we move on. I filed a number of complaints against, I posted this a couple of weeks ago, against Melinda Lasater and Jonathan Lapin of the San Diego Superior Court. One is a current prosecutor. Another one is a former prosecutor wearing a black robe. So all I have now is that the Bar Association, the Office of Chief Counsel, has given me an inquiry number. And this is the other one. So I've got the two there. This is the actual complaint I filed with the Bar Association. I just reformatted it and sent it to the presiding judge of the Superior Court, where in a lot of jurisdictions, they before you can file with the Judicial Conduct Commission, you're supposed to file with the presiding judge first. I think it's a good idea whether you have to file it first anyway. Always file it with the presiding judge. Let the boss know what they're doing. let them, they may not answer to us, but maybe they'll answer to their boss. So maybe, you got to keep the rhetoric down. If you're going to lie, you better do it convincingly. So what I do is I lay out how she refused to take judicial notice, that she denied that it was the court system was adversarial, that there's no presumption of innocence. Whenever they presume or assume that the law is applicable, they are not presuming you innocent. It's an element of a statutory violation. Arbitrary rulings, relieving the prosecution of the burden, of course. And again, this is all going to be on the website. You can get the entire complaint. So if you are if you've heard Delilah on the show or someone else on the show complaining about these predators, if you want to file a complaint, you're more than welcome to use what I've done as a template and file a complaint with them. And okay, so that was against Melinda Lasater. I wanted, and also I filed the same basic complaint against Jonathan Lapin with the Bar Association. So now I've also filed complaints in the Tempe courts. I filed initially with Deborah Schaefer about threats to pay on the same day when you have 30 days. That went nowhere. I did file with the presiding judge. Her name is Marianne Majestic. That complaint will also be on the website, but more important, this is a complaint against the judge. Her name is Elizabeth Olson. This is when I was there as a member of the press and helping Adam, and so I filed a complaint here about that, laid everything out, and that she proceeded absent any jurisdiction. Before the hearing started, I asked the man who wrote the ticket, Mr. Stouffer, what evidence he relied on to prove the code applied to my client, and there was jurisdiction, and he replied, I'll let the judge decide. When I pointed out the rules require discovery just prior to trial, Stouffer sat there mute. I also pointed out the burden of proof was on him, not the judge, and I meant to write Stouffer stayed silent, but it happens. Again, pretty basic stuff. Even those with a cursory understanding of the legal system know courts only adjudicate justiciable controversies. That's the U.S. Supreme Court, United States versus Interstate Commerce Commission. And his complaint was devoid. Complaint and testimony was devoid of any allegations or facts of injury, and he lacked standing. And right from the Arizona Supreme Court, quoting the U.S. Supreme Court, to gain standing to bring an action, a plaintiff must allege a distinct and palpable injury. None of this seemed to bother Elizabeth, though. She just kept on doing what she wanted to do. So basically, the three main issues are she proceeded absent without evidence of jurisdiction, relieved the plaintiff of burden, allowed to proceed when plaintiff lacked standing, and impeached witness and still took his testimony. I sat right there. We have recordings of what I believe Adam has posted, that the judge said he was not qualified to give legal opinions, yet she would not strike his opinions from the record or from the ticket. But then again, she is working on behalf of the one who attacked Adam. Okay, and we filed that, got the nice Agora. Now, this is the last one. This is Marc Childs. For those who have been following, Marc Childs is the Justice of the Peace in the East Mesa Justice Court. He's the one that bailed on the show a number of years ago before he actually got elected, so it is going back a bit. He's not a lawyer, but he is the Justice of the Peace, so we take the complaints to them. So this is the complaint about misleading people who are forced to interact with you and your staff. In addition to the more serious issues not addressed in this complaint, you and your staff are telling people we must pay civil fine and penalties the day you impose them. And then, of course, I give the statute here that you have 30 days to pay. And I went through this on the show that Mary Summis, she actually believes that same day, since it's technically within 30 days, is not misleading anybody. So to Mary Summis of Mesa, Arizona and the East Mesa Justice Court, 30 days means same day. So, of course, I also included in here the intimidation tactic of the older gentleman who does the security, who actually threatened me with, I suggest you leave while you still can, which was nice. When I hear something, we will definitely update it. I don't think that too much is going to be done here, but we'll see. And at least we'll have evidence where they're just rubber stamping. And again, my name is Marc Stevens. Website, marcstevens.net. Radio show is the No Stay Project, live every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN.FM and marcstevens.net. Also carried by truthfrequencyradio.com.